Well, after waiting for months and being on kind of pins and needles on where you were going to be PCSing, the word has finally come down and the orders are you are moving to Alaska. So first off, congratulations. This is the station that a lot of folks are really kind of want and desire over the course of their careers. So first off, congratulations. If you didn't want to move here, well, tough beans, military, so you're coming. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the 5 things that you need to know about once you kind of get the orders that you're going to be moving here and what you can expect once you get here to Alaska. But before we get started, do make sure you give this video a like. It does really help make sure that more people can see this content, and go ahead and subscribe to make sure that you can receive more information like this. This is going to be helpful as you're relocating up here. Now, let's go ahead and jump into today's video talking about the 5 things you need to know as you're PCSing up here to Alaska. First thing that you need to know is that you need to pack light as you're moving up here to Alaska. Now, as light as you can. I mean, when I moved up here, I had 2 checked bags and a carry-on. I don't expect you'll be able to do that, but still you need to try to make a priority of packing light. And the reason for that is that even though the military is going to pay for most, if not all of your stuff to get here, that does not mean it's going to show up in perfect, pristine condition, because you're talking about a long distance that all your household goods have to go in order to arrive up here to Alaska. And if you've got really fragile stuff, if you've got washers and dryers, if you've got old furniture, it's going to take a beating while it's out there. So if you have the option, you might consider putting some of your stuff in storage that you're afraid of getting beat up, and that'll probably save you a little bit of heartache down the road. Not saying it's all just going to get the daylights beat out of it, but better play it safe than sorry when you're dealing with the more fragile stuff. So that's number 1. Make sure you pack light. The second thing that you need to know is you need to get off the base and actually go out and enjoy Alaska. I know a lot of military folks and those that are just absolutely miserable. They hate it. It's too cold and I'm just miserable. I can't wait to get out of here. When am I PCSing again? They're always the people who just kind of isolate and they don't get out and they don't actually enjoy the state. If all you're seeing of Alaska is the 4 walls of your dorm or your house, your apartment, wherever that happens to be in Alaska, you're going to hate it, okay? Just as you would hate it anywhere else. So make sure that you actually get out and you enjoy all the activities that Alaska has to offer. We've got world-class fishing, hunting, hiking, paragliding, paddleboarding, surfing, rock climbing, cross-country skiing, downhill skiing, snowboarding. We've got a ton of activities that you can do here in Alaska, and quite frankly, if you're bored or you just can't find anything, I'm just going to be blunt, it's probably more your fault for not trying to get out and actually enjoy the state. So once you get here, make sure you reach out to community and you get yourself plugged into some outdoor activity. You're really going to enjoy your time more if you do that. The third thing that you need to know if you're moving to Alaska is that if you're going to be buying a property, buying real estate up here, you've got to make sure that you're buying in an area that has a history and a good trend of resale value. And I say this because I've seen a number of military folks that have really gotten themselves into the real estate equivalent of a chokehold, where they spend money on a property and it's great, it's beautiful, and then they try to sell it a couple of years later and it doesn't have great resale value. And essentially their options are either sell it at a huge discount and take a loss, which sometimes that makes sense, or their option is to rent it out and just kind of keep their VA loan tied up with this property. Sometimes that works great, sometimes it doesn't though. Now, it kind of depends on what the situation is. So you need to have that discussion with your realtor up front if buying property is what you want to do, to make sure that you're getting into an area with good resale value. And in 3 years, you're going to have options and your back's not going to be up against the wall, okay? Don't go with somebody that's just going to slap you in any old house and, just say, bye, see ya, and that's the end of it. Make sure you have someone that's looking out for your interests in 3 years and not just in the immediate right now. Let's take a break real quick here. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you do know that I have a relocation guide, and the best way to get access to that is to actually register on my website. And as you're registering, there'll be a little place where you can put in a note there, simply say relocation guide and whatever other details that you need to include. And that's going to be a great resource for you. It goes through a lot of the general questions people are going to have as they're moving up here, and it's absolutely free. So make sure you take advantage of that relocation guide. Again, link for that is going to be in the description down below. The fourth thing that you need to know when you're moving up to Alaska is that you should avoid buying brand new toys when you can avoid it. I'm mostly talking to the men here. When we get up here, it's a giant, absolute giant smorgasbord of stuff that you can go and do. And usually you're going to need gear to go and do it. Even if you're going fishing, you're going to need waders, you're going to need coolers, you're going to need a lot of other stuff. Snow machining, obviously, you need a snow machine for that. So there's a ton of stuff that you can go and spend a lot of money on, but there is a very active resale market, not just with people who are PCSing out, but you're also going to have a lot of folks who are local, who are also moving for whatever reason, because Alaska is a very transitory state. So when you can avoid it, don't get the brand new toys, okay? You'll stretch your budget a lot further and you'll be able to get more stuff if you're buying secondhand instead of brand new. Obviously, sometimes it's not 100%, doesn't 100% work with what you're trying to do, but when possible, try to buy used instead of new. I feel like I've said this enough. Okay, moving on. The fifth thing that you need to know as you're moving to Alaska is that one of the classic military mistakes that people make as they're moving up here is they move up here, they're like, Alaska, this is the north. You know what? I feel like getting a dog. Hey, let's get a Husky because this is Alaska and this is the perfect place to get a Husky. All fun and games until you realize a Husky is a very high energy dog that needs to get out regularly. It doesn't do really as well when you're crating it up for just hours and days on end, okay? Great dog, but make sure that you have the time that it takes to actually get said dog out, to actually enjoy its life up here in Alaska, and also just to make sure that you don't go crazy because you expected some docile, easy to control dog like what you would find with another breed, okay? It's a very rambunctious animal and it's gonna tear stuff up if you don't get it out and let it enjoy running around and getting its heart rate going. So don't make that classic airman or soldier mistake. Make sure that if you're getting a Husky, all fine and good, just make sure you know what you're getting into. So those are the 5 things that you need to know as you're moving to Alaska. There's obviously a lot more, and I'm sure you have some more specific questions. If you do make sure you reach out to me on my Facebook page, Instagram. All that good stuff is going to be right below. You can also register on my website, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have as you're looking at moving up here. And that includes also if you're not planning on buying anything as well. I'm happy to advise as best I can. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.